This sounds pretty serious. Hospitals say the proposed state budget cuts to Medicaid and other programs will actually send more people to the ER?
Yeah, that's right, because the ER can't turn people away, so people who rely on state services right now may be left with that as their only option. So as you're about to see, what might save the state money has a much bigger cost. In the proposed budget cuts we have so far, you'll find items like cutting safe housing for almost 150 mental patients. It's in the Health and Human Services budget, and right next to it you see this warning. This will result in an increased number of homeless mentally ill in the community and increased use of emergency rooms for inappropriate housing. So clearly, state officials already know when they cut health services for the poor, somebody still has to pay for it. Our local hospitals referred us to the Nevada Hospital Association for an interview.
When those services are reduced or eliminated, their only option for that care is the hospital ER.
The ER is, of course, much more expensive, and since the people we're talking about can't afford to pay, you might have already guessed who does. Everybody else who goes to the hospital, and their insurance companies, in the form of increased charges. That leads to higher premiums and more people dropping their insurance, which only adds to the mess. It's what the industry calls the sick tax. With roughly 2/3 of patients unable to pay right now, statewide it adds up for the third who can.
Last year, that cost of uncompensated care for that patient population that I've described exceeded $1 billion.
That's more than the state's entire budget shortfall right now, so much that it can't be shifted to the insured patients entirely without driving hospital bills well beyond outrageous, so hospitals absorb some of it. Since 2001, Nevada hospitals, many of which are nonprofit, have seen margins drop from more than 4% in the black to almost 4% in the red. That's forcing them to make cutbacks, which means fewer treatment options and longer wait times. And so this is really only expected to get worse, and if you need a real-world example, we've got one for you today. St. Mary's actually laid off 15 of its workers at that hospital. The positions are from throughout the facility, but most of them are in supervisory and support areas that don't affect patient care. Hospital administration hints that they expect to make more cuts. And it's not just layoffs. St. Mary's says administrators and managers will not be getting any merit pay increases this year. Hospitals are trying to run as lean as they possibly can, but at some point you can only cut so much before you have to start cutting things that do affect patient care. On Money Watch, live in Reno, Brandon Ritterman, Channel 2 News.